So a whole part of that story is about Jack the Ripper and how Michael LaSalle has to come head to head with Jack the Ripper and try to defeat him. And Jack the Ripper is actually an alien, but you can read about that. So that was the first book. And now the second book is taking place in Connecticut with Jay Gatsby and Daisy from The Great Gatsby and the Fitzgeralds. So Zelda and Scott Fitzgerald are Michael LaSalle's friends, and they're friends with Gatsby and Daisy, who are real people in this book that I'm writing now. So he's getting involved in their lives, and hopefully he can make a difference in their lives when he's there.
Wow. Well, I just had to ask you this. I'm listening to you, and I've read tons of about your stories. But you said something that I read, Kevin, and that is that fiction is not. Did I pick this up correctly? Fiction is not completely untrue. There's some truth to it. Tell me what you meant by that. I read that somewhat. I read a lot of your writing, and I did see that. So tell me what. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, we think of things as fiction, but every writer, at least this comes from me. This comes from a personal experience as a writer. Every writer writes their truth. It might be in a fictional setting, but like F. Scott Fitzgerald, he married Zelda, but Zelda wouldn't marry him until he had money. Zelda didn't marry F. Scott Fitzgerald until he wrote This Side of Paradise, and it became a big hit. And then Zelda married him because Zelda came from a rich family, and F. Scott Fitzgerald came from just a Midwest, family. Well, The Great Gatsby, Daisy doesn't marry Gatsby because he's poor. So she gets married to somebody else, and then Gatsby all this money and comes back. And This Side of Paradise is connected to a bunch of women that F. Scott Fitzgerald actually was involved with. So the fiction is more than fiction. I mean, any of the classic writings, like Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment, Brothers Karamazov, these books all have history in them. That they're not just fiction. They're coming from some place of experience and thought that's in the writer's head. So that's why I'm saying that fiction isn't fiction. It's actually truth in a different disguise.
Mm-hmm. Because when I read that, it actually impacted me because I've written through the years as well, and I enjoy writing fiction myself. And you're right, everything that I've written, there was some component there that I've experienced. It was something that I elaborated upon, and and my imagination helped me to just take it and drive it and envision it to be something even more within a story. And that's why that really stood out for me.